Hello, church. So it's Wednesday, July 23rd. We come into Psalm 91 for today's devotional. We're going to be splitting it into two parts. It's not particularly long, but there's some good stuff in there and some good stuff in James May. So wanted to be able to share that. All right, so we start with, and reminder that we're now on book 4 as of Psalm 90. I think if yesterday's felt familiar to you, this one is probably going to feel more familiar and some good portions. Psalm 91. You who live in the shelter of the Most High, who abide in the shadow of the Almighty, will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, or the arrow that flies by day, or the pestilence that stalks in darkness, or the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. A little bit from James Mays. He's going to do a section on refuge that I wanted to especially uplift, and talks about it being a very common theme in the Psalter. You hear the word several times, and he's going to get into some vocabulary stuff too. Psalm 91, my refuge and my fortress. If you desire, writes Athanasius to Marcellinus, to establish yourself and others in devotion, to know what confidence is to be reposed in God and what makes the mind fearless, you will praise God by reciting the 91st Psalm. That experience in commendation of Psalm 91 is repeated again and again in the history of its use and interpretation. It is a classic on the sure providence of God as the citadel of faith. The hymn, Sing Praise to God Who Reigns Above, echoes its confidence in God and is a good companion to the study of it. Refuge, used as a metaphor for God's care and protection, is a pervasive theme in the Psalter. It is frequently employed in prayers and confessions of confidence in God as a noun and as a verb. In general secular use, the verb means to seek protected space. In its liturgical context, it means to look to the Lord for security from threatening dangers. Verb and noun belong to the psalmic vocabulary of trusting God. They are primarily items in a word field used to speak of the Lord as protector of those who hold to him. Fortress, stronghold, dwelling place, shelter. The idiom shadow or shade of the wings of the Lord belongs to this vocabulary as well. The life of the faithful in Israel was set in an environment of threatening dangers. This vocabulary and its frequency in the Psalms brings out the important role of trust in coping with the anxieties that beset their life. I'm going to read that last part again. This vocabulary and its frequency in the Psalms brings out the important role of trust in coping with the anxieties that beset their life and ours. And now some Peterson for you from the Message. You who sit down in the high God's presence, spend the night in Shaddai's shadow, say this, God, you're my refuge, I trust in you, and I'm safe. That's right. He rescues you from hidden traps, shields you from deadly hazards. His huge outstretched arms protect you. Under them, you're perfectly safe. His arms fend off all harm. Fear nothing, not wild wolves in the night, not flying arrows in the day, not disease that prowls through the darkness, not disaster that erupts at high noon. Even though others succumb all around, drop like flies right and left, no harm will even graze you. You'll stand untouched, watch it all from a distance, watch the wicked turned into corpses. And on that cheery note from Eugene Peterson, we'll be back for the second part of Psalm 91 tomorrow, and give you a little bit more from James Mays. We're going to be hearing one of the pieces that is actually quoted in the temptation of Christ from Satan. So he's going to tackle that a little bit. And we'll look forward to catching you tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye-bye.